And today we have another interesting topic to look at, like so the Nigerian Police Force established Act 2020 implications on human rights. That is the topic of discussion for today. And to discuss this, we have Olaita Eyowawi, consultant solicitor, Simeon Bethel Solicitors, London, United Kingdom. You're welcome, sir. We also have MAZI Afam Osigwe. He is a senior partner at Law Forte and former General Secretary, Nigerian Bar Association. You're welcome also. We also have Kunle Edun. He is a human rights activist, welfare secretary, Nigerian Bar Association, and senior partner, Trilex Partners, LP, Warri, Delta State, Nigeria. You're welcome.
Thank
And
you very much.
finally, on our list, we've got Sylvester Udemezue. He is legal practitioner and lecturer, Nigerian Law School.
Thank you very much. Without wasting time, let's listen to MAZI AFAM OSIGWE this time. A senior lawyer in the bar. So let's see what he has to say about the new Police Act. MAZI, please.
Thank you. Let me start by saying that the Police Act 2020 is a poorly drafted and a poorly researched piece of legislation. And this may be due to no thanks to the fact that there was no proper consultation. First of all, the Act repeats so many things that are already contained in the Constitution. For example, Section 16 talks about creation of the Police Council. For goodness sake, the Police Council is already established by the Constitution, which also stated its composition and functions. And it makes no sense, therefore, for the Police Act to pretend to be setting up a body that has been set up and its functions set up as contained in the state schedule, Article 29 of the Constitution. And then again, to also show the bad faith behind some of the provisions in the Police Act, you see the encroachment on the powers of the Police Service Commission in the Police Act by seeking to give powers of discipline and employment of the police force, taking it away from the Police Service Commission and giving them to the Inspector General of Police. And if you look at a number of functions, it seems as if the intention of the Act was to put so much powers on the person holding the office of the Inspector General of Police, not even in the Nigerian Police Force as an institution. You read for one of the sections that says the Inspector General of Police shall be reimbursed of expenses incurred in doing so and so. As if he spends from his personal pocket and the law now provides for him to be reimbursed. And then some of the sections are so poorly drafted that are vague. The interpretation of their provisions could give rise to a lot of ambiguity. Look at Section 66 that talks about bail. Look also at about Section 1 something or so that talks about that if a policeman has been acquitted of an offense, that shall no longer be tried. And to show the absurdity of that provision, I think it's Section 111, I'll get the correct section. That law goes on to say, but that he may be, that even though he has been acquitted, he could be disciplined, reduced in rank, or dismissed. How confusing can a piece of legislation be? Now, there are some provisions in that act that arguably could be said to be intended to enthrone police reform, respect for human rights. But you agree with me that in Nigeria, problem has never been the absence of laws. It's the issue of enforcement of provisions of law. Now, if you look at some of the issues arising from this NSAS thing, now where there are copious provisions made in the new Police Act about processing suspects who are brought into police station, you look at the issues emanating from NSAS, where protests, where there are revelations that no records of persons are arrested by SARS, and indeed so many other departments of police are kept. And I also think the Police Act makes nonsense of this requirement when it gives the police up to 48 hours within which to process a suspect. How can you bring a person to the police station and not process that person before taking him into custody? Get his name, get fingerprints, get every bio details about that person. And the law says they should do that within 48 hours. What about within the first 30 minutes of bringing that person to the police station? Some of the provisions seem to be intended to be self-defeating. What it gives in one hand, it takes away with another hand. There is need, if there has been proper consultation, detailed research, and removal of a self-serving objective of usurping the powers of Police Service Commission so as to empower the Inspector General of Police to recruit constables and some other police officers in the police, maybe would have had a better piece of legislation. Many people were not aware that an amendment was in the works, and suddenly a signed law was in circulation. And that is why you have the poor piece of legislation we have here. It could have been better drafted. It could have been better drafted and enacted to reflect the need to reform the police and have a police that is very friendly, that does not have that does not adopt opacity and lack of accountability in carrying out its functions. I'll stop so far so that other people will make their own contributions.